And in our culture, I would say most of the time, love is done and talked about and understood the wrong way. Our culture talks a lot about self-love. And the reason for that is because when you are loved, it changes everything about you. It changes your self-worth, your self-identity, your self-esteem. When you're loved, it changes everything about you. So the world will look and say, you need self-love. The truth is you need love. That's the truth. The world doesn't have access to the agape love of Jesus. And so they look to self-love as the answer. Because yes, the answer is love. The answer is love, because when you don't have love, your understanding of yourself, your self-identity, if you've grown up in a broken home with broken relationships and you have scars from all of these messed up relationships, you never really understood or experienced or received true love, you will carry scars from that. Your understanding of yourself will be changed, transformed because of that. That's true. The world can look at that and understand that. But the world comes to the conclusion what you need is self-love. Because if other people aren't giving you that love, you need self-love. And I'm telling you, you need love, but the gospel's answer is you need a greater love than you could ever have in yourself. You need the love of Jesus. There is a love that you can have access to that is far greater than self-love. Your self-love is so limited. But there's a love. A lot of people like to do this, where they'll go through this list of the definition of love here, and they'll put their name and see if it matches up. Replace the word love with your name. Nate suffers long. Nate is kind. Nate does not envy. It doesn't work, right? My name doesn't fit, doesn't match up. But if you put the name Jesus there, that is true love. Jesus suffers long. Aren't you thankful for that? Aren't you thankful that you can receive a love from God that is a perfect love that suffers long with you? Jesus suffers long. And in his suffering long with you, he's kind. Jesus is always kind. Jesus is never not kind. Jesus does not envy. Jesus doesn't parade himself. He's not puffed up. He's focused on us. He's giving. He would leave heaven to come to us. Jesus does not behave rudely. Jesus doesn't seek his own. He left his, if he sought his own, he would have stayed in heaven. He wouldn't have suffered. He wouldn't have come to earth to be persecuted and put on a cross and nails through his hand and take the sin of the world. He doesn't seek his own. He seeks our good. Jesus is not provoked. Jesus thinks no evil. Jesus does not rejoice in iniquity, but rejoices in truth. I love this, verse 7. Jesus bears all things. Jesus believes all things. Jesus hopes all things. Jesus endures all things. And Jesus never fails. And so when we look at this list of love, love is essential for us to be balanced, for us to be strong, for us to be stable enough and secure enough to be able to help other people. You can't do that in yourself. The only way that you can have that security, that stability to help other people is if you're finding it in the love of Jesus. In our brokenness, in our lack of understanding of love, in our messed up relationships, we can need constant affirmation. We feel insecure. There's a lack of fulfillment. Those things come when we experience and when we walk in real, true agape love, the love of Jesus. That's what heals that brokenness that is inside us. Self-love can never do that. Only the love of Jesus can do that. And so we look at his love as the example of how we are called to love. But we depend on his love and we receive from his love in order to love other people. In yourself, you can never do it. And so as we look at this incredible list of things, we say, this is right. This is true. And this is what we need to do. This is how we need to live. I'm not making excuses for when I do it wrong. I want to do it right. But I also recognize the only way that I can do that, I can never do that in myself. It's only as I'm filled with Jesus. I'm filled with his love. And so as I see this list, and you probably, as I did, look through this list and you had certain areas that you're like, oh, I'm not so bad at that one. Out of all of these things, there's one that I can do okay. But then you look at another one, you're like, oh man, I don't do that one so well. I hope that you do that. If you don't do that, then you're the one that's, what did he say, inflated, puffed up, and parading itself. If you think that you're good in all these things, then you're the puffed up one. There are things in here that we should look and say, man, I'm falling short in this area. Lord, help me to receive your love and fill me with the love so that I can love that way. I don't want to speak rudely. I don't want to give up when things get difficult. I don't want to lose the kindness. I don't want to become critical of everything I hear, looking for a reason to question people. If you see things in yourself, say, Lord, help me with that. But the way that you're helped with that is by walking in his love, receiving from his love. Jesus told us in John 15 to abide, and that's how we bear fruit. If you want to bear fruit, by the way, the fruit of the Spirit is what? Fruit of the Spirit is love. Fruit of the Spirit is love. There's debate as to whether the rest of the list after that is also the fruit of the Spirit, or if the fruit of the Spirit is love and the rest of the things are the description of love. Fruit of the Spirit is love. What does love look like? Joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, right? All those things are what love looks like. The fruit of the Spirit is love. And so we want to receive the fruit of the Spirit that comes from abiding in the vine. And so my encouragement to all of us is that we would receive the love of Jesus daily. We need to spend time in his presence. If there's a lack of love in your life, you need to spend more time with Jesus. Spend time in his word. Spend time in prayer. Spend time close to him. Spend time in Bible study. Spend more time with Jesus, because he's the only source to this love. We can't have this kind of love apart from him. And I pray that the Lord would allow us to love this way, as individuals and as a church. And you guys need to pray for that too. Imagine if we all pray together for this. God could do crazy things if we have this kind of love. So let's pray together for that.